Our next speaker is going to talk about racism, bias, and economic inequality. Her name is Sheley Secrest. She is Vice President of the Seattle NAACP. She is also candidate for Seattle City Council. Would you give her a warm welcome, please?
I remember his eyes. I remember the way that he looked inside of the camera, and he wanted to know why they shot his father. He heard the sheriff explain that the undercover cop was worried because there was a car that was stopped in front of his house. And the son, he looked and he pled, if you wanted to help him out, you should have brought a wrench, not a handgun. I remember her laugh. She is one of those big women whose voice alone could fill up the room. And every single time she told her story about redemption, it was enough to just make your heart open up. She was a recovering addict, and she came home from Purdy, and she had told herself she is not going to let anything ever separate herself from her children again. She works 2 jobs and never complains. I remember the way his nose flared when he testified at the city council. He was a business owner inside of Seattle's historic African American district. And he was telling the council about the road construction, that how customers weren't able to get to his business and they were going elsewhere, and that if they didn't come to him, they were going to never come again. He had said that he lived through the crack addiction. He had lived through the weed and seed. He had lived through the post or the recession. And he looked at them and he said, I'm still here. I'm one of the businesses and I'm still here. I remember the way his nose flared. My name is Sheley Secrest, and yes, thank you for the introduction. I am a mother, I am an activist, I am a lawyer, I am a candidate for Seattle City Council. A lot of the work that we do, I'm vice president of the NAACP. A lot of the work that we do is making sure that we turn anger to action. We go from complaining to planning, okay? Here with the Trump effect, it's been wonderful because throughout greater Seattle, we've all made sure that we were committed to resisting. We made sure that we stay woke. Or in Seattle, we're sleepless in Seattle. Okay? Some of the things that we've been working on is for making sure that women and men who are determined to make a way out of no way, who are making it on the broken pieces, who are working hard, are able to actually do more than just get their basic needs. That's why we raised the minimum wage in Seattle. Yes, yes. We remembered the hard work, and we've committed ourselves to making sure that those who work hard should be able to have their basic needs met. That's why I'm happy that in Seattle, I'm one of the organizers, activists, who actually enforce the labor laws to make sure that we do more than just pass minimum wage, ban the box, paid sick leave, but that they're actually enforced inside of communities and the lives who need it most. I'm happy that I am able to work with the business owners like Earl in the Central District, whose nose flared when he testified at council that he's still there. We've got business owners who are grappling with the growth of Seattle. Yes, we want development, but we also want to make sure that our businesses that are longtime residents are able to still stay there and afford to grow with it. Yes. Yes. And so I'm committed and I'm happy to be one of the activists that works with the central area. We're part of the Only in Seattle recipients, where in the CD, central area, we're helping small businesses make sure that as the city grows, this historic place isn't gentrified. What we do in central area, we're gonna stretch it out, that's right, we're gonna stretch it out throughout Seattle. We can do this. When we fight and we pull together, we know that we can win. That's why I'm also helping to make sure that our housing can remain affordable. Amen. Yes, and yes, and so we're working with the people who are impacted. Seattle has the truest beauty of being able to be one of the 5th fastest growing cities in the nation. We're not scared of growth. Seattle embraces growth. We embrace development, but we also know that we've got to make sure that we're not leaving folks behind as we're moving forward. And so, with making sure that we can keep folks here in Seattle, we are doing the innovative ideas. Part of the solution is making sure that we do things like the ban the box for job applications. Ban the box is the thing where, yes, you're familiar with it. Before an employer can ask you about your criminal history, they have to look and see whether or not you would have qualified for the job. We're finding that that worked really well in Seattle. Let's take it one step forward. Let's bring it to the housing applications as well. If you would be able to pay your rent, and if you can afford it, let's apply that so we can keep a roof over people's heads that deserve it. Yes? Activism is real. The current conditions have impacted and touched all of our lives. I've recognized some of the faces out on the front lines. All of you guys continue to be active, continue to speak for the voiceless. It's working. Don't believe the hype that we're not able to change. We know that we can. We know that the power of the people has always been stronger than the people in power. Continue to bring that message. Bring it here. Bring it to the state level. And please, oh please, oh please, let's continue to resist Trump and bring it to the federal level. I'm Sheley